Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. It is Monday, which means it's time for Inktober52, which is the 52-week weekly Inktober, I don't know if you call it an event or challenge or what it is, but I'm doing this on Mondays this year. And I've got this nice kit of stuff that I've been using. Most of it I received as like little powered bonuses or part of the Inktober retreat last October. And so let's open it up. I did not get this bag from the retreat. I just thought this bag was nice to use. I already had this bag from a Mito in the box a long time ago now. I think it was like a couple years ago now. Okay, so first thing coming out is the sketchbook that I'm using, this Inktober moleskin sketchbook. And it's quite nice. I like the ivory colored pages, or off-white, or whatever you want to call it. Another thing is this creative starter set from Zebra. So it's got 5 colors of mild liners and 5 colors of their fine liners, and only one actual black ink, but it's cool to have some different colors available as accents or what have you. Oh, my big dog Aoife is coming in. Yeah, I knew you'd want to come in once I started talking. Okay, now I'm going to close the door properly. So if you're hearing that little tip-tap, that's Chappie and Aoife's nails on the hard floor in here. Okay, there they go. They're both laying down in their beds. Good girls. Okay, another thing. It's actually 2 items, but they're very similar. They're also from Zebra. They're brush pens. This end of both brush pens is exactly the same, but on this red one, there's also a small, well, at least a smaller tip. It's also a brush. So I've been using this one for filling in and then this one for lining, and then that way they have a different purpose. Otherwise it's hard to be like, well, they're both the same, so which one do I use? I had to find some way to differentiate them in my mind. Some other stuff that's in this kit that didn't come from the Inktober retreat is this Palomino Blackwing pencil. 725 is the number on it. If I'm remembering correctly, this one was styled after a guitar. Either way, it's one of my favorites because it's got this cool red to black gradient on it. So I've got this to do the initial sketches for every piece, and then to go with that is a pencil sharpener, just in case I need it. Okay, so just fold this up and set it over here out of the way. So the prompt this week is odd, and since I'm only giving myself an hour to do any of these, I'm just going with whatever I first think of. And what I thought of was, plus my own personal theme of everything is Griffin related, like there's a Griffin in it somehow. I'm actually going to put this over here. So, first thing I thought of, it being Griffin related and also odd, is a Griffin thinking something is odd. So I'm just going to focus on the face and maybe the shoulders, just to show an expression of, that's odd. Oh, I've got some ink on me, probably when I was showing this. This is last week's skull. I just looked at a reference image of a peregrine falcon skull. Okay, so this time I'm not going to look at any reference. I'm more interested in just practicing depicting an emotion or a thought process. So I'm not going to base it on any specific bird. It's just going to be a generic griffin. So this is the main part of the head. And let's see. I gotta do the expression myself. So I was thinking of like holding the chin with the hand like this and kind of squinting and looking off to the side like, that's odd. So if I do that, because I've got this dang gutter here, so I could just try to fit it in here, but I'm just gonna go for it and have it kind of almost centered. But I'm trying to think, should I put the shoulder over here, or should I put it over here that has the arm up? I guess if I do it this way, then the beak could be coming out this way. Yeah, okay. So if that's the case, should I have it? Okay, I'm thinking, trying it with different arms. So it's like, should I have the arm coming up from this side, or should I have it coming up from this side? I don't think it matters too much though, because like this will be the neck. There won't be that much room for his shoulders to show. So I guess it's like, do I want the hand over here, or do I want the hand over here? I kind of like it here. I'm doing my hands both ways to see what it feels like. So the thumb comes out, but I have to think it's a gryphon hand, so it's like a bird foot. So they have, it's more like no pinky, and then this one comes like this. I mean, some birds are different, but a lot of birds have this configuration with 3 sort of in the front, and then they can go way farther over than what I can as a human. And then the back one is like this, because then it helps them grab on a branch. So if a hand like that, we're doing a thing like this, I mean, I guess it is pretty mobile. So I think it wouldn't be a problem to do it mostly like a human hand. But I'm also thinking about, they have a talon on there. Don't want them to scratch their own face. Okay. Dang, my drawing hand is the one I need to see though. Okay, so this part here is this. It's going to be a hybrid human griffin hand, because I don't have any bird model to look at. There. That's good. That's good enough. Okay, the thumb is coming out this way. And then it comes down into the wrist. There. Yeah, maybe the talent would come over across the front of the, because they're so long. If it was this tight, I think that they might be digging into the griffin, bird, whatever. The griffin's own hand. So let's do it like that to make the griffin more comfortable. Alright, and now let's do a little more specifics for the beak. Griffins are traditionally an eagle, so I'll give it a sharp looking predator beak. Alright, but it's doing a smile right now, and so let me make the expression. So it's like the mouth, so I'm anthropomorphizing it a little bit, which I do often because it helps to get an emotion across. Because with birds, they display their emotions. They're kind of like cats, where they don't really display it with their eyes so much like we do as humans, but rather with their whole body language. And it's still the same thing with birds and cats. I found the same thing. Dogs are different, though. Dogs actually have a lot of muscles around the eye where they can make expressions that we can understand. And I even heard of some research done that showed that the gray wolf, which shares the common ancestor with the dog, doesn't have as many facial muscles. So they don't make all these expressions that dogs make. And so it seems like it's almost because of humans that in order to communicate with humans that they develop so much facial muscles. Anyway, since a griffin is based on a bird, I'm gonna anthropomorphize a little bit. So the this is odd face, at least when it's coming out of me, the mouth goes and gets flat and long. And I don't know what kind of nostril to do. I'll just do kind of generic. And I'll also do a little mark here, because I noticed on my pigeon when I was drawing him for his Chibi Friday, well, when I was coloring him last week, he has this little mark on his nose, and that made me realize I've seen that before with other birds. So I'm going to give this griffin such a mark as well. Okay, so the thumb is covering up the beak, but the beak will be covering up these fingers. Okay, good. Now, let's do the eyes. The eyes is what's really going to make it. We're going to do little squinty, let's see. So if the hand is coming in from this side, I feel like looking away from the hand. I was just doing the expression to get myself. Looking away from the hand makes it seem more contemplative or yeah, this is going to be a very cartoony one. Yeah, and you could even call it odd, not just because of I'm trying to practice someone thinking something is odd and that someone is a griffin. It's also odd because I don't usually draw stuff like this. So. Okay, to make this griffin a little more interesting, I'm just going to give it some random feathers sticking up. Not based on any particular bird, just trying to make it more so it's not just a boring round head. I love this though. This is so so weird and different. Let's do some indication. It's not necessarily going to be anatomically correct, but just some indication of wings. To help get across what we're dealing with here. A little bit more of these sticking up head feathers. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, for inking, let's see. I'm thinking about whether I want to use a thin line for a kind of I can't think of the word. If I use a thin line, it will all have this uniform look, and I feel like that might add to the sort of flatness of the expression. The expression, or the mouth goes flat, the eyes get, you know, go flat, and so having the flat lines as well might be in this drawing's favor, because if I use a brush pen, it will just naturally get some flowiness and some energy and such, and that's odd is a kind of stopping. So I think that I will use this Zebra Sarasa fine liner. To do the main lines, I'll still do a little bit of refinement though, once I've got the main lines down. Because I want it to be appropriately, like, sort of flat, but I don't want it to be boring either, so. This is cool because it's a chance to draw the little scales that are on bird arms and therefore griffin arms. Of course, I'm not looking at a reference photo, so who knows how accurate they are, but usually the arms are so small that you can do a little indication of them, but that's about it. Doing a little bit of sort of zigzaggy lines to make it more obvious that this is a griffin covered in feathers and not a person with bare skin, because that's kind of, I feel like it's kind of easy to get that with this very humanoid expression on this griffin's face. Yeah, this is very odd. It's kind of hard to do the lines on the toward the edge of the sketchbook because it hits my pinky, and my pinky's like it can't get some stable location. Let's see. Yep, I'm gonna use this. No, I'll use the small end of this red one. Mostly on the face, I think. Oops. Add a sense of gravity to certain things and also just bring more attention to the face, because the face is the point of this one. Doing a little hatching inside the hand where I feel it would be quite shadowy with this almost fist going on. Maybe I'll get a little drink of water for a second. I think I'll do my usual, well, I usually do it with chibis, but with anything that's not really any specific environment, just sort of a character just being there in a nothingness. I like to do a little outline of the whole thing, because then I feel like it, what is it? It's like it feels more powerful on its own, even though it's got nowhere to be. I'm trying to do my best not to go too hard on these feathers up top, because I want to keep them looking light and fluffy. But I don't want the outline to just sort of stop up there either, because that will look, it'll just look unfinished. Like I forgot, maybe, instead of that I did it on purpose. Because I've done that before and I'm like, no, I don't like that. Well, this is going by really fast. I think I will use, and I've got this test sheet I did at the beginning. Let's see, should I use gray or maybe I'll use pink? Kind of like pink because my pigeon's eyes around, my pet pigeons, they've got pink eyelids, so I'm going to use this pink marker to fill in. Since I've got so much extra time, this didn't take very long. Thought it would take a lot longer, I guess. I wasn't really thinking of how long it would take. It's really hard to color in the gutter here. There, did my best. It's got a really, to me it feels like a really 90s cartoon look. So I have so much extra time in my streaming window. I'd like to at least get to 45 minutes. So I'm just gonna go through and just add little details here and there. Wherever seems good. A little hatching to give the talons some idea of color and shape. And maybe I will draw a big question mark right here too. I've got this big space and maybe that will help get the odd across as well. Is that the way question marks go? Oh man, am I dyslexic with question mark? I gotta type it in my search. Oh yeah, I'm totally dyslexic with my question marks. Maybe that's not dyslexic, but that seems to happen to me a lot. If I don't have a big habit of, like, I don't draw a question mark like this normally. And then so if it's not muscle memory, then I'll be like, especially with the Japanese letters, because I didn't grow up learning them. So even though I can read them perfectly fine, I'll like write it and I'm like, wait a minute, is that backwards? Okay, let's draw this question mark the right way, not reversed. I mean, I guess that could be another element that's odd. I wanted the expression to be odd more than the drawing itself, so. There we go. There, that looks better. Yeah, when I drew it, I was like, wait a minute, something looks weird here. Something looks odd here. Oh, what shall I do? Yeah, I'll color it in too. I'll use this small end of this brush pen. Then I should let it dry a bit. So let me see, maybe I can do a little hatching to give shape to the face while I wait for that ink to dry enough to use a marker on it. Ooh, and I remember with that peregrine falcon that I drew last week, it had a very dark end of its beak. So I'll do a similar thing with this one. Have it be dark and have a gradient as it's fading into whatever other color it is. That's cool. Yeah, makes it a little more interesting. Let's just do a lighter color. I think this looks just like a lighter color. Yeah, like a lighter pink-ish color. It's actually like a light version of the blue and the pink mixed together. But we're getting close enough. Maybe I'll call it good once I just do a little bit more work on these fingers here. So where the beak is hanging over, I think they would be more in shadow than I've got them right now. But then here the light is coming around, so it wouldn't be as much on these last couple fingers. Yeah, that's good. Yep. Well, let's call it good there. It's not quite 45 minutes, but I did what I wanted to. And I don't want to keep adding stuff just to add it, I think, because that's like a never-ending story. So I will write my thing on here, Inktober52. And this one's odd. And then I think I was just writing the date. Yep. So it's the 20th of February 2023. Yeah, the drawing goes way faster when it's just a cartoony caricature trying to get the idea of a expression across rather than trying to be realistic or realistically inspired or something. So here's a close-up look. Oh good, the camera automatically focused. So you can see the different lines, and I was actually quite pleased. The same pen did this one and then these fine lines here, so even though it's not a brush pen, I can still get a different variety of line weight from that liner pen if I'm careful. Yep. So let's see if it'll focus at this range where it's fully filling the screen. There we go. I had to press a button. Yeah, there it is. So Inktober52. I think this is week what? 7. I put in the title. Oh, Exie! You arrived just when I was finishing. Hello! I'll chat with you for a little bit then. This drawing went by so fast. How are you? Wow, I'm so glad you could make it right before I was about to sign off. Because yeah, the picture went so fast that I'm like, well, there's not really anything else I want to do for it. It's looking great. Oh, thank you. Yay, I'm glad you think so. How's it going? Did you have a good weekend? I had a pretty good weekend. I got to bed on time last night, so I've been really on top of my stuff today. Maybe that's why I got done with this so fast, because I had time to think about it, what I wanted to do, and whatever before I even started streaming. I was just like, what am I gonna do for odd? Oh, Exie had a good weekend too. Yay! It was alright. Good. We were both in the It was an alright weekend club. Thank you for asking. You're welcome. No, thank you for joining me. It's like, oh, it's just like perfect timing. I could at least chat with you a little bit before I head out. Because, yeah, there was nothing else to do today, so I guess I'll hold it up real close again in case you'd like to see. I can tell you what I did. There's a marker on both of these, 2 different kinds of marker, and then I used 2 pens. One was the fine liner, but it was able to get some pretty good variety of line. It's like thicker line, thinner line. And then I also used the brush pen to get those, you know, thicker lines on the outside. And the thinner line was the fine liner. So that's pretty much all I did. So that cartoony expression today. Oh, thank you. I love it. Thank you. Yay, glad to hear it. All right. Well, I guess I'm sorry to leave you so soon, but yeah, there's not really much more to do. And then I could use the extra time to scan this in because I've been trying to scan them and I keep forgetting. So I'll use the extra time to get on top of that and not behind like I have been. Oh, that's true. Yay. That makes me feel better. No need to be sorry. I need to sleep anyway, Exie says. Yay. Well, hopefully I'll see you on Wednesday or Friday, too. Of course, I'm going to have my normal streaming schedule this week. Thank you for the chat. You're welcome. Thank you, too. It's so nice. I haven't really talked to anybody today, so it's great to talk to you. All right, then. I will call it good there and tell Exie good night. I hope you have sweet dreams. And hopefully see you again this Wednesday or Friday. But even if it's for a tiny little bit, thank you for watching.